Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Tel Cockerel on Monday, the 10th of February. It's an absolutely horrendous and gloomy day, weather-wise, for me, and I don't know about the rest of the country, but apart from that, it's a horrendous and gloomy day anyway on the old football front, which I'm not going to go too much into. It's not for me. I've been on other shows this weekend and I've absolutely buried myself in Tottenham talk yesterday and Saturday and Friday. So today I'm just going to give what I normally do on this show and just give you the results of what we've done this weekend. Am I laggy? Sorry. I'm going to give the results of what we did this weekend with our predictions. So on the weekend there was no FA Cup. There's no Premiership games, and because there was no Premiership game, predictions for this week, they wouldn't be suspended. It would give an opportunity for other people to gain lots of points and play catch up by hitting us with 20 game bumper this weekend, where we visited 20 different countries. And the predictions went well for some and not so well for other people. So let me say hello to a few people. I've got Adrian here saying good afternoon. Good afternoon, Adrian. Good afternoon to Jimmy Hotspur. Good afternoon to Christopher. Good afternoon to Drula. Good afternoon to Paige. Good afternoon to Corey. Good afternoon to Drula. Good afternoon, Daniel. And we've got Shamtam here, who says, good afternoon. Says, hello, Mr. Bossman. Jose, I hope you have a nice weekend and a happy and healthy. Corey says, nice wet day in Brighton. Corey, I'm about 34 miles away from Brighton, so it looks like we've got the same weather along the coast. But what I will start is by asking people how they think they got on this week. Like I normally do, you tell me your score in the chat. I'll tell you whether you got it or not, whether you hit that score or not. If you did, I'll say yes. If you didn't, I'll just say nope, and you can only have one chance here, and then I will give you the results. So very, very, we didn't do any, what was I going to say? We didn't do any Premiership games, so I might have to read out the games that we did. You've got, sorry, just to say that we've now got Peter is here with us. Good morning to you, Peter. I hope you're well. 3:06 a.m. for him in Melbourne. Then you've got Paige says it's raining in Holland as well. Daniel says he hasn't got a clue. Good afternoon to Stacey. Good afternoon to Colin. Good afternoon to Jess. Good afternoon to Sue. Yeah, so at the moment you've got good afternoon, Archer. You've got Christopher in short. Christopher reckons he got 3 points this week. I'll have a look and let you know, Christopher. 20 games, you got 3 points. Christopher, where are you? Christopher, you got more than sorry, you didn't get 3 points. I can't say you got more or less. You didn't get 3 points, is what I should be saying. Jimmy says he thinks you got 11. No, Jimmy, you did not score 11 points. Anybody else? Anybody else with what they think they may have got this week? Stacey says she did badly and she knows that. That's not giving me a number though, is it, to go by? Anyone else with any numbers of how they think they may have got on? Apart from some, there is one person I know in the chat that already knows, and that's because I told them already privately. Right, here we go. So Stacey says she thinks she got 4. Let me have a look. No, Stacey, you didn't get 4. Archer says he thinks he got 13. Archer. Archer thinks you got 13. Archer, you did get 13. Drula says she thinks you got 15. Drula, you did get 15. Right, this week's averages were This week's averages were 11.3. 11.3 were the averages this week. So if you scored anything over 11 points, basically you're above average if you scored over 11 points. But yeah, I'm going to name the 20 countries visited, and I'll start with the results now. I must admit, I'm happy with my week. The Dandy Town Hornets did me a turn, because I thought I'd scored highly, but then they did me a turn as well. The Dandy House Hornets, or Dandy Town Hornets, against Hamilton Parish. But let's have a look. Let's have a look with the scores on the doors. Right, let me take the cockerel out of the way. Where's the cockerel? No, that's not it. Yes, it is. Let me just take the cockerel out of the way. Right, and we will go through each one. Right, so the first game was Leeds versus Millwall. And it kind of threw everyone's, because this was the first game of the weekend, it kind of threw everyone, because Leeds were beaten. I can't see it. You can't see there. Leeds, it was Leeds 0, Millwall 2, and it kind of threw everyone. So you've only got two people predicted an away victory, and therefore 4 got a point each for that one. The second game, the second game, we went to France, and it ended up being Nice 2, Lyon 0. And for this, Adrian, Gus Parker, did Gus Parker run? Gus Parker loses some points there. Right, sorry. I just realised that Gus is wrong, so Gus comes down. Right, Gus, I've had to amend your score. I made a mistake with Gus. Right, Gus P. Oh, Gus P. Gus P, I've had to amend your score. Right, sorry. The people that got this right were Adrian and Leo, Stacey, Vindaloo, and the Spurs Danalist all got the correct score. And greens get you 3 for correct score. Oranges, there's quite a few still there on the board, all would have ended up with a point each. The third game of the weekend took us to Germany, and that ended Dortmund 1, Stuttgart 2. And for that, the correct scores came in from Graham, Big John, and Jess. There are only 3 people to predict a correct scoreline in 1-2. And there were 1-2, and there were 2 oranges. There were 2 people that correctly predicted that Stuttgart would win away, but the correct score only went to 3 people who got green and 3 points. The game after this, the fourth game, took us to Italy and ended up being Verona 0, Atlanta 5. I don't think anyone actually got the correct scoreline, but quite a few people went for the away victory. Yeah, nobody got the correct scoreline. I think there's a 4 there. So there's a 1-4 there. Is there any other? There's a 0-4. So Side Dancer had 0-4. So 0-4 was the closest that anyone got, but it was a 0-5 game. So a lot of people got 1 point in that game. And then we went to Spain, where we had the Madrid derby, which ended up with a 1-1 draw between Real and Atletico. And for that, the correct predictions came in from Ronnie, predicted the 1-1 score. Jimmy predicted a 1-1 score. I've given too many points out to people here. Look, Dan Coyce predicted a 1-1 score. And so did Lee Wizkid. And I've given Dekaru and Neil too many points. So bear with me a second. Where was my brain when I was doing this? Right, sorry, bear with me a second. I'm having to change this as we speak. Jesus, that means I'm going to have to change it quite a bit when I end up doing the spreadsheet again. So Neil and Dekaru, does that affect Dekaru and Neil? Bear with me a second. Right, Neil. And Dekaru, yeah, 57, 93. Right, some of these tables will look differently now that I've done this. They've just realised I've made some errors here. So I've amended it on my sheet, but Dekaru and Neil should not have scored 3 points. They scored a point each. So I had to change their score lines. It'll be reflected when I do it at the end. The next game, game number 6, took us to Albania. And that was a game between Flamatauri versus Bessa. And it ended up being a 3-1 win for Flamatauri. And for this, the correct predictions came in from yours truly, Carl Simpson. Next page is Tigaro, Peter Kagaias, and that was it. So 1, 2, 3, 4 people correctly predicted their score, but there's quite a few oranges, so a lot of people went for the home victory in that game. The next game took us to Bermuda. Yeah, the next game took us to Bermuda, which ended up a game between the names FC Santa Coloma versus Paz de la Casa, and it ended up being, the scoreline there was 1-0 to Santa Coloma. So a 1-0 home victory. And with the 1-0 home victory, we had correct predictions from Big John, Ryan G, and then on page 2, we had Dan Coys and Lee Whiskid. Lee Whiskid and Dan. So Lee Whiskid, for his sins, because he was late and couldn't get it on, he copied and pasted all Daniel's results. So Lee Wiz and Daniel, I'm going to repeat their names quite often because one copied the other. Not a bad tactic because they scored quite highly this week because of Dan Coys. The next game took us to Belgium, which was a Club Brugge 1, Leuven 0. And in this game, the correct predictions, so if you look there, there's all oranges on that page for Club Brugge. So everyone on the first page got a point. And on the second page, the people that got the correct prediction were Lee Smithy Smith and David Shear. They're the 2 people who went for a 1-0 victory and therefore got the 3 points. Everybody else, there's only 4 people that didn't score a point for that game, at least a point. So well done, everyone in that game. The next game took us to Bermuda. Sorry, Paz de la Casa, Colomna versus Paz de la Casa was actually Andorra. This one took us to Bermuda. And this is the one that I was really happy about, that I was waiting. This is the last result that I waited on because they got the times. By the time it came in, this result didn't come in. I didn't get this result till about it was during the night and early hours of Sunday morning, because it was Sunday morning that I picked it up. I expected all the games to be finished by midnight Saturday, where I could update everything. But no, this one didn't come through, and I had to wait till the early hours. And this game in Bermuda was between the Dandy Town Hornets and Hamilton Parish, and it ended 3-1. And the people that correctly predicted this one were yours truly, Carl Simpson. And then on the next page, you have Dekaru, Jess, Vindaloo, Spurs analyst. So you had what, 4, 5, 6 people correctly predicted that scoreline. So, and then all the others that got orange would have scored a point each. The game after that took us to Colombia, and the game was between the game would have been between America de Cali versus Pasto. Yeah, you can see the scoreline was America 0, Pasto 1, and we can see what that did to all of us, or a majority of us, because nobody on that first page correctly predicted an away victory. And on the second page, the only person to predict an away victory was David Shear. He went for 2-3. So David Shear is the only person to have scored a point in that game. The next game took us to Cyprus, and it was AEL Limassol versus Anorthosis, and the result was 0-1, and the correct score predictions came in from yours truly, Mikey Romero, Jimmy Hotspur, Gus Parker, Leo, and Stop. So that they're the people that correctly predicted a 0-1 victory. All the people in orange would have predicted an away victory and would have scored a point. The next game took us to Guatemala. And in Guatemala, the game was between Municipal against Deportivo Mixto. And for this game, it ended up being a 1-1 draw. And as we can see on page 1, the only person who predicted a draw there was Cy Dancer and got a point. And then you had a draw from Matty Kushner, you had a draw for Stacey, and you had a draw for Bobby Kay, all getting a point each. So well done to those guys. We then visited Morocco, and the Moroccan game was between FAR Rabat versus Tangier, and the score in this game was another 1-1 draw. And for this game, 1-1 draw. Okay, so it's a 1-1 draw. For this game, you can see there was a load of oranges. Sorry, 1-1 draw. Sorry, I'm correct my madness. Sorry, it ended up being FAR Rabat 3, Tangier 2. Sorry, it's a 3-2 victory for the home side. So there's quite a bit of orange on the first page. And there's quite a bit of orange on the second page. No one predicted the 3-2 scoreline. Got a few 3-1s there. Had a few 3-1s, but no one actually predicted a 3-2. You had a 4-2 in there as well. But everyone in orange scored a point. We then went to the Rotterdam derby in Holland between Feyenoord Rotterdam and Sparta Rotterdam. This ended up with a 3-0 victory, home victory to Feyenoord. And the people that correctly predicted this were yours truly, Graham, Big John, Archer. And then if I go to page 2, it was Dan Coys, Grant Packham, Lee Wiz, and Bobby Kay, all correctly predicted a 3-0 scoreline, and therefore all scoring 3 points. Everybody else that's in orange scored a point because they had the home victory. Oh, bear with me a second, there we go. Right, so then we go to the next game, and the next game took us to Northern Ireland, and it was between Larne versus the Crusaders. And this ended up being a 0-1. So Larne 0, Crusaders 1. People with an away victory were Drula, Rob Belcher, Peter Kagaias, Stacey, Nige, and Bobby K all would have scored a point each for that one. So well done, you guys. No one actually predicted the correct scoreline in the LAN Crusaders game. From Northern Ireland, we went to the Philippines. And this is the one that really, right. This was the one that people looked up on Google, right? And the game was between Cebu FC against Mendiola FC 1991. Now, a lot of people checked the Google, and I remember a lot of comments coming in about this game because people were saying it's top versus bottom. They've only played 8 games in the league, and the bottom team have conceded 45 goals. So we had lots and lots and lots of very different scorelines. But quite remarkably, Mendiola ended up scoring a goal. I don't know in what order, but they ended up scoring a goal. So the game ended up being 3-1. And as you can see on the screen, you got 6-0, 7-0, 5-0, 4-0. There's a lot of nils in there. But they scored a goal, and it ended up being 3-1. So the correct scoreline came in from Big John. And then further down the bottom, we had 2 more further correct scores for that game from Vindaloo and the Spurs analyst. It's quite interesting. Vindaloo and the Spurs analyst both scored all their greens in the same games. And they were both together and different parts of the show because they both left theirs on the stream at the end of the show. And they both ended up scoring greens in the same games. Quite interesting. We moved away from the Philippines and we went to Poland. And in Poland, the game was between Raków and Katowice. And I think a lot of people got found, well, including himself, a lot of people got found out because the form went out of the window in this game because Katowice a lot further down the league than Raków. And it ended up being a 1-2, Raków 1, Katowice 2. And for that, the correct scoreline went to Drula, Rob Belcher. Then we had Quez, Darren, Dan Coys, Jess, Neil, and Wiz. Like I said, Wiz had the same results as Dan, so there's no surprise that they both got that one in there. And then we left Poland and we went to Portugal. I'm not done too many here. Sorry. We left Poland. I'm getting ahead of myself. We left Poland, and we went to Portugal. That's right, yeah. We went to Portugal. And the game here was between AVS and Santa Clara. And the scoreline was AVS 1, Santa Clara 2. And the people that got the correct scoreline in this game were yours truly, Big John, Michael Chelsea, Ryan G, Richard, Ed M, Quez, Darren, Dan Coys. I'm repeating the one I just did, and the 1-2. Sorry, I'm repeating the 1-2 that I just did. Right, sorry, we left Portugal, and we went to, I'm getting confused. We left Portugal and went to South Africa. And in South Africa, we had a game between Mamelodi versus Orlando. Mamelodi versus Orlando. And in this game, it ended up being Mamelodi 4, Orlando 1. Now, these two weren't separated by many positions or points. And I didn't expect this to be such a big scoreline because in South Africa, there isn't that many goals ever scored. But it ended up being a 4-1 victory for Mamelodi. So it's a home victory of 4-1. No surprise that nobody correctly predicted it. But a lot of people predicted the home win and ended up with oranges, as you can see. And the last game of the weekend took us to Zambia. And the Zambia game was between Forest Rangers against Kabwe. And I will say, a lot of people went for the away victory. I will say that Kabwe scored really late because when I checked on Flash Score, it was 1-0 to Kabwe. So, sorry, Forest Rangers scored really late. Kabwe were winning 1-0 for such a long time in that game. And then there was a late equaliser in that game. So it ended up being 1-1. And for that, the only person who correctly predicted a 1-1 draw was on page 1, and that was Paul G. Thereafter, you've got a smattering of people that did go for a 2-2 draw there. We got a few couple of 0-0s and 4 or 5 2-2 draws. So all the people that predicted a draw would have scored a point each. Right, that takes me to the comments. Let me see what the comments are saying. Here we go, because I missed all the comments because I couldn't see anybody. I'm coming through like a Dalek. It must be your connection, Drula. Cooper says nothing's going right for him at the moment. Got Ben here. Good afternoon, Ben. I hope you're well. I think Cooper was referring more, Drula, to the fact that he's scoring for this week, I think. Cooper says, big up Wifey Melons and the rest of the Leeds crew. Big up to the Spurs crew and all the others too. Colin Blackshaw's here. Says, evening, Jose. Quez Ali, good morning to you, Quez. I hope you work. Some of these games are all over. Yeah, Paige, what we normally do is we normally do the Premiership. But when the Premiership isn't on, I give a chance to everybody to score points, to have a really, a chance of catching up. And we went around the globe and I did 20 games. I tried to do it where people can't think of what I'm going to do. So I went and picked 20 different games from 20 different competitions throughout the world. And it seemed to do really, really well this week. I did them all for games that were being played Saturday. But like I said, one of the results didn't come through till early Sunday morning. So yeah, it ended up working quite well. Only that, like I said, the one result I had to wait till Sunday morning. I woke up Sunday morning in order to get it because it came through overnight. Then you've got Gus Parker says Bonza week for all LTEL. Richard is here, says hi Jose. Good afternoon, Richard. Here's Big John's here as well. So we've got quite a few people here now. The league table, I need to change this, but the league table will change, and it will change because there was a couple of wrong results there. So I've changed the results on my laptop now, but I can't crop them and put them on screen now. But I've changed them, and I've also changed the league table. So for those that I got wrong, which I think were 3 scores that I got wrong, I've amended them. So the Richard, John, and Colin, have you seen the results, or do I need to put them back on screen for you? Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the league tables because obviously the people that I think have joined late must have seen their scores already. So I'm going to go to the league table for the week. Right, league table for the week is right. So back this week on Friday, we'll be back to normal. It'll be predictions. So it'll be the Premiership games plus I'll pick 4 random games. So we're back to 14 on Friday. But for now, when I show the league tables, anyone in blue, which I don't think there's any blues this week, are people that played for the first time. They'd be in blue. Anyone in green means that you've moved up the table. And anyone that's in orange, it means that you've broken a barrier. So without further ado, the league tables as goes are here. So we now have 128 players playing in this. So we have 128 players playing, and obviously no one was affected this far down the table because there are no colour codes there. Then we go up to 115th to 87th. The person who made a move was Christopher Inshaw. Christopher Inshaw is now in 96th place with 11 points. So well done, Christopher. You moved up the table. Then we go from 86th to 58th. Darren has gone into 84th place. Mark Taylor is up to 70th. Michael Chelsea is up to 67th. And Matty Kushner is up to 59th. I did say, for the people that are maybe new to this, anybody that takes part in this as a new person, you will get in advance. If you started now, this week, with 15 weeks left, plus the bonus predictions that we do for international breaks and that, you're talking about, you've probably got about 18 weeks, 18 solid weeks of doing this. And 18 weeks will get you in excess of 100 points. If you're good and you score really well, even someone starting this late could get to 200 points because of the bonus weeks we have. Because we don't just do 10 games, I always do 4 bonus games. But in the super weekends, when there's a break, like there was this weekend, there'll be 20 games. So people have got plenty of opportunity to make points. And I did say that I believe that 70 people playing this game will get to at least 100 points. We haven't got there yet, because we'll see in a minute. But I said, like I said, I maintain 100 people, at minimum 100 people will get at least 100 points. Right, from 57th to 29th, Leo has gone into 54th. Dekaru is in 51st, although I've had to take 2 points off Dekaru because I made an incorrect score. So Dekaru actually sits on 93 points. So you've got Archer. Archer's on 99. Archer, Dekaru, Stacy, Rinketic, Leo, Kate, DJ, and customers. On this page, I expect them all, if they play, to get over 100 points. And that will take to 57 people. At the moment, we have 49 people on 100 points or more. Grant Packham is 47th. Jimmy Hotspur only started playing late. He's already up into 44th. Well done, Jimmy. He's into 44th already. Spurs Dan is 43rd. Nige Pure Coys, his brother-in-arms, is 42nd. Colin, Mr. Sievers, has picked up into 39th. Neil, I've had to amend your points. It doesn't affect your position, but Neil is up to 36th. Gus P, I think your points are affected by 1 point. Let me see, just check the table on my laptop. That's Gus Parker. Right, Gus, you're affected by 1 point. So Richard is now above you by a point, but you still would have made a move. So well done, Gus. Jess, who started late as well. Jess is already on 173 points. I fully expect, if they play every week, I expect all the people, even going all the way down to Inner Hype, and Archer even, and even Dekaru, I expect them all to break 200 points and more. Lee Wiz has gone into 30th, so well done, Lee Wiz. And in the top 30 at the moment, you have Vindaloo. Vindaloo has been climbing at a rapid rate, and Vindaloo is now into 28th on 190, so can break the 200 barrier next week. Nick is on 195 points. I expect him to break the barrier next week of 200. Alan, if he plays next week, I expect him to go past the 200. But the notable people that have hit double centuries this week are Lee Smithy Smith and Peter Gagayas, both breaking the 200. Tigaro is up into 21st on 212. Quez has gone into 19th on 217. Ed M is up to 17th on 218. Paul G, 14th with 231. Drula is climbing. Drula in the last 3 weeks has been on the upwards track. She's been doing really well, and she's gone upwards. She had some really good weeks, Drula, and then she had a little lull. But now in the last 3 weeks, Drula has picked up points, and she's climbed into 12th place. Ronnie is up into 11th. Big John, another one that recently has just been picking up points aplenty, at a pace. Big John has gone into 7th place. Carl Simpson has gone into 4th place. And yours truly has gone into 3rd place. The leader is still Graham on 285 points. And I expect Graham and Dan look the closest to breaking the 300-point barrier. And this week, Dan has shortened Graham's gap by 4 points, because Dan scored 19 this week and Graham scored 15. So well done, everyone, this week that's taken part. Right, where are we? Are we anywhere near? So you're all talking about the Millwall Leeds game. Right, so Big John says 7th. I'll take that. So Big John's happy there. Drew the 12th. She says that she'll take that up. And Daniel says it's far from over for him. And I think it is. I think there are so many, honestly, really, there's so many points to play for. There is still, like I said, there's what were we? Was that game week? Right, game week 25 is next week. So that's 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. 16, 7, 38. So there's 14 Premiership game weeks. Yeah, 14 Premiership game weeks. Plus we've got the international breaks, and we're going to have FA Cup weekends. When FA Cup weekends are on, if there are Premiership games, I'll throw them in there. If they're not, we'll go around, whether I do FA Cup games or whether I go around the world again. So there are plenty. You're going to have a good 17 to 18 weeks for people to make points up. And that's where you guys come in. You guys participate. You guys will make the points. So with that, who else is it? Jessie's saying that she's happy with hers. Gus Parker's going for the Conference League, he says. Big John, I'm not commenting on what you just said there. Are we predicting when? It's too late for me to do that. There's no way that I'm going to be able to get that done. I should have, if anything, I think when that game got postponed, that week we still had another 9 Premiership games and whatever bonus games were that week. I just think that with all the bonus games that we get in, it's just something that slipped my mind not to do, and therefore I'm not gonna introduce it, because it'd be unfair on others. Because it's a results show, it'd be unfair on others because I haven't said that we're going to do it. So it'd be unfair on the rest of the people if we went to do it. So yeah, we're not going to do that one. I'll start again on Friday, and we will do the predictions for next week. I refuse to be in a top 4 battle. I'm in a title race, says Dan. Cooper says, can we just abandon this game and say everyone wins? Let's play something else. It has nothing to do with Carl and Jose being ahead of me now, I promise. Colin says, I've fell apart, back to 16th and need to improve. Yeah, Colin, your points have dropped off. And there are noticeable people that have really gained traction and that have gone ahead with their points and scored quite well in the last few weeks. But then there are also other people as well in the last few weeks have broken up. As you're all aware, I will always do this and predictions, and I'll keep you all happy by doing it, but I will only do it for subscribers. So on Friday, the show will become, I'll put it on subscribers only again, and we will do this again on Friday. I'm just checking now whilst you lot are here, just to make sure that I've got my plans in for next week. Just want to make sure that I know when the games are being played this week, because I haven't set anything up as yet, and I will probably do it later this week because I'm away with work. So Saturday we have, no, that's Saturday now, isn't it? Saturday's January. So what's this Saturday coming up? Saturday coming up is the 15th. So we have on the 15th 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there's 7 Premiership games, and on the Sunday there's 2. So that means there's a Monday night game, right? Is there a Monday night game? There must be. Right, it appears there's a Monday night game as well next week. So it appears there's 7 games on Saturday, 2 on Sunday, and I've got a feeling there's a Monday night game. Right, let me have a look. Yeah, oh no, the 17th there isn't a game. What's happened? Is there a game on Friday? Oh no. Okay, look, sorry. We have actually got a game on Friday. Brighton play Chelsea in the league on Friday. So the prediction show that we do on Friday, that will already take on the first game, which is Brighton versus Chelsea. So on Friday, we have one game, right? On Saturday, there's 7, and on Sunday, there's 2. So Friday will be the prediction show for next week, right? And we'll do that at 4 o'clock like we normally do. And then I'll add 4 bonus games in. The 4 bonus games that I put in will obviously be played either Saturday or Sunday, because I want to have the results show for Monday, because then that means I don't have to worry about it because I've gone to work. So we will have predictions on Friday. It will be 10 Premiership games, and it will be 4 bonus games thrown in. Paisley's birthday on Saturday. Her team's better not let her down. Happy birthday for Saturday, but I'm sure we'll see you before then, Paige. The 15th is your birthday of February, so all put that in your diary. We'll have to wish Paige a happy birthday for Saturday the 15th. And that's what we'll do. Peter is back. I don't know whether Pete can hear me. I know that he's just gifted 5 channel memberships. So if you get a channel membership from Peter, can you please say thank you to him? They have gone to KU23, Ghosted, Rich C, the Alaskan Hotspur, and Sharif. If you come into the show, because none of you are in the show at the moment, if you come into the show, this is the person you need to thank. You need to thank Peter and Paul G. Peter, I'm not sure whether you're with us, but I'm just going to let you know, you and Paul G. Let me get the comments out of the way. Hide that one. My dog's getting mad again. Right, Paul G. This week, mate, you scored 13 points. I haven't done that yet, have I? I've got to do the points that people scored. And Peter, this week you have scored. Where's Peter? Peter, you scored 10, but Peter, you've broken. Paul G, you've gone into 14th, and Peter Kagaius, you've gone and broken the 200. Peter, you're now on 205 points, mate. You broke the 200 this week. Yeah, so well done, you guys. Hi, Phil Coys. How are you, mate? I hope you're well. Right, so going back to the points. Right, these are the points, the amended points. You have to listen out, because if I've amended it, then you haven't got your points. This week, Jose got 22 points. Johnny got 9 points. Graham got 15. Big John, man of the week, 23 points. Drula scored 15. Adrian scored 12. Archer got 13. Ronnie scored 12. Michael scored 12. Mikey scored 10. Jimmy, 16. Cy got 6. Carl Simpson, 16. Mark, 5. Gus got 13. Rob Belcher, 10. Ryan G, 16. Tot Spurs, 10. Colin B's got 7. Richard got 9. Ed M got 10. Kuma got 10. Paul G got 13. Corey got 0. Christopher got 6. Colin got 7. Nick scored 9. Smithy got 6. Tigaro got 12. Ellie got 6. Leo got 11. Matty Kushner scored 3. Peter Kagaias, 10. Nita, 6. Quez, 14. Darren, 14. Jimmy James got 10. Dan Coy's got 19. Stacy got 8. Dekaru scored 13. Jesse scored 19. Neil got 13. David Shear, 7. Ian Meth, 9. Vindaloo, 18. Spurs Dan, 15. Grant, 11. And Nigel Pure Coy's 7. Lee Wiz, 19. Hanno, 8. And Bobby K, 7 points. And the average this week was 11.3 points. So well done, every single one of you. Here we go. Here. So I'll get it in the pages of Man United supporter. Yeah. So thank you very much. As I said, hit the notification bell. I'll be back on Friday. I may do a show before that, but I'm away with work tomorrow and Wednesday. I won't be back home until Wednesday, late Wednesday evening. So if I do a show, it might be late Wednesday evening. I might do something on Thursday. I'm not sure yet, because everybody has already had their say on yesterday and their say on everything else. And for me, I just wanted a chill day today. And what we'll do is I'll pick it up later on this week if I do pick it up. And if I don't, Friday, it will be predictions again. And I hope to see all of you here Friday for predictions. Be on time at 4 o'clock, because as you all know, I play football on a Friday as well as today. And I want to get to play and leave to go and play football. So I will be starting at 4 o'clock prompt on Friday. On Friday, we will go back to the 3 competitions. So it'll be this one that we do. It will be Predict the Prem, which is online. And it will also be Fantasy Football League, which is also online. Both of the codes and the link are in the description of this show. So if you want to enter, it's free of charge. Just go to the description, enter to go to the code, the description for Fantasy Premier and Predict the Prem. Enter the codes that are both there as well, and you can enter the leagues free of charge. So without further ado, guys, I wish you all a fantastic, and I mean a fantastic remainder of the week for all of you. I hope you all stay happy and healthy, and I will see you all on Friday. So thank you very much, everyone, and take care of yourselves. And as always, it's come on, you Spurs. Take care, everyone. Bye.